Just describe the problem and don't elaborate. How about using one word? The garage door was left open is more than one word. You could use the word just garage door. Enforceable statements. How about using statements that tells you what you do and not what they do? I take children to the movies when they clear the table. I give dessert to children who finish their carrots. I drive children to soccer games when they finish their homework. These are called enforceable statements. Say it with a written note. Please remember to clean your closet. Text them. Write it. I use Post-it notes almost everywhere in my house. Say it with the one words. This is the one words. Cat box, dishes, garage door. Don't use a lot of words. If cleaning the cat box is something they typically have to do, and you just say, why didn't you clean the cat box, you might inflame them. Versus the word cat box, dishes, because that was their chore to do. Explain your feelings. It makes me feel like you don't respect me when you act like that. The next one I really like a lot. I love you too much to argue about that. When they're starting to be argumentative or try to get you, I love you too much to argue about that. It's important to give your child some emotional space when they are in a sensitive time. It's not a good time for problem solving, and I know I've said that a few times, so remember that. These are just some of the many strategies you can use. But I think you've learned thus far in this session that there's an awful lot to learning to communicate. I also want to emphasize that when you're giving your child feedback, try to emphasize the child's strengths. Focus on your child's efforts rather than the end results. It's important that we look at their effort when they do something and not just the outcome. Chris, I like that you sat down and got started on your homework. Okay? It's not that he finished it, but he sat down to get started. So let's start to notice our children's efforts, even if the end result is not what we expect. Okay? So let's say that there's been a conflict. Maybe it's not as bad as it used to be. Maybe it's with less intensity. But what do? The most important, remember, rules minus a relationship equals rebellion. And we want rules plus a relationship equals success. I'm not saying you're not going to have arguments and conflicts. You will. It's what you do afterwards that really makes an importance. You want to restore the relationship with your child as quickly as possible to prevent lingering resentments and hurt. I don't know if you notice it, but I know that when Chris gets out of sorts and out of control, and he gets upset easily, and he says things he doesn't mean, including a lot of obscene language, he usually is extremely remorseful later and sad that he went there. So we need to recognize that their apology has weight. It's not an excuse, it's just a reason. Demonstrate affection as soon as you can, and they're capable, maybe even after that short timeout. Use humor to break up the tension. Go somewhere fun, even if your child resists. How about that special lunch or that special shopping time? Use distraction to help your child move on. Those are other things that can be done. That's another thing that's done in school. Distracting a child, changing the environment will sometimes lessen the intensity of the moment. Write a note to express your affection. Text them. Write a note and put it in their lunchbox. Put it on their door. Tell them how important they are. Do something special together. Practice forgiveness each day for yourself and your child. Because you know what? There's going to be issues and there's going to be a roller coaster. So forgiving yourself and your child on a daily basis, because things are not always going to go the way you want them to go. That's okay. We have to learn from our mistakes, and we have to travel them.